Hello everyone, this is Christian from Global Reach, and this is going to be a purely beginner-friendly tutorial talking about the most accessible and the most important reports that you need to know if you are new to Google Analytics 4. So I'm going to jump over to our Google Analytics platform, and I'm going to show you exactly where to find these reports, what these reports tell you, and from there you can decide whether or not these reports are useful for you. But these are generally the most beginner-friendly reports that we would recommend using. Okay, welcome to the homepage of our Google Analytics 4 property. This is what our homepage looks like. You'll see a bunch of pre-configured reports, and this is all great for summary data. But if you want to look at more detailed reports, what you want to do is you want to navigate over to the reports section, and here you will see a bunch of different reports that you need to look at. I will say you'll probably need a couple of days for data to populate here to make this more coherent and more useful. But once you have data in there, all these reports here are just waiting for you to be used and to be explored. So let's jump into our first report here, and that is traffic acquisition report. So to find a traffic acquisition report, you want to go under acquisition and go to traffic acquisition. And this report here basically tells you how many users you have gotten from each traffic source. And a traffic source is basically just, there's organic search, there's direct traffic, there's paid search. These are where users are coming in from. And this basically tells you how people are finding your website. If a lot of people are finding your website from organic search, that means that you're doing well on search engines. But if you're getting more direct traffic than organic search, that probably means that people are typing in your website name and coming to your website straight away. So this gives you a good handle of where people are coming into from your website. There's a lot of things to say here, but generally from a high-level overview, this report tells you where people are coming in from. So let's move over here to our second report, and that is Pages and Screens report. So to find the Pages and Screens report, you want to go down to Engagement and down into Pages and Screens. So this report is what people classically want to look at. This is the number of visitors or users that each page on your website gets. So typically what you'll see is you'll see your home page having a bunch of views because that's where people come in from and that's where people first visit your website. Obviously this varies from website to website, but generally speaking the home page is going to have the most traffic. And then you'll start to see people dispersing out to different parts of your website. It could be a blog page, it could be an About Us page. This is where your traffic sort of lives on your website. So this report is a great tool to look at which pages are doing well, which pages are declining, which pages are improving. This is a great report to kind of look at all that and process that information. Another important feature here is to go up to the date range and look at maybe the last 30 days and then compare it to maybe the preceding period. And this basically lets you look at the percentages of traffic from one period versus another. So if traffic has declined or traffic has increased, you'll see it in percentages. So you'll see a percentage increase or a percentage decrease. Sometimes you'll have issues like this where this is not set, but generally speaking, it gives you a good gauge on which pages are doing well and which pages are not doing so well. And for our third report, we're going to be sticking with the theme of pages, and we're looking here at the landing page report. So the landing page report is going to be right underneath the Pages and Screens report. So if you click on landing page, what you'll see is you'll see a bunch of different web pages. Let me get rid of that comparison feature here and click on apply. So what you'll see here is you'll see something similar to the Pages and Screens report where you have page URLs or page titles, but the landing page is basically the first page that a user comes onto your website from. So this report basically gives you a list of pages that people most commonly enter your website from. So if your goal is to get people directly onto your homepage or directly onto your contact page, this is a great place to go and look at where people are coming into your website from. So as we can see here, the home page is once again the most popular landing page on our website, but we also have a bunch of different landing pages. This could be that you may have a blog that's really popular on a search engine. So if your SEO is working really well, you'll see a blog on there. But generally speaking, this report just shows you where people are coming in from. On to our fourth report, we're talking about Search Console. So Search Console is a pretty handy report to look at search queries. So to do that, you want to go to click on Search Console and click on Queries. And this basically tells you how people are finding your website on Google. So what are people searching for to find your website on Google? So this gives you a bunch of queries, and then it gives you a bunch of clicks that each query got to your website. So if there is a specific term that you want to be found for, this is a great place to look at whether or not you're being found for it. If you have a keyword that your website wants to be found for and you're not being found for it, that's probably a cause of concern. So you want to go to the Search Console report and take a look at all of the search queries that you are most commonly being found for, and take a look at that information and see whether or not it is what you want to be found for, and if it's where you want to be. So the Search Console report, specifically the queries report, is a great report for this. Lastly, the best report, in my opinion, to look at is the free-form report. So the free-form report is basically the basic version of a custom report in GA4, and this lets you rip anything apart and take any information and put it onto a free-form report. So let me show you how to do a very basic free-form report. So it's not going to be in this report section, it's actually going to be in the Explore section, because that's where all the custom reports live. So now we have a bunch of different reports, and you have freeform over here. So if you click on freeform, it basically creates a template for you to build off from. But if you create blank, you can basically start from scratch. So let's go ahead and click on blank and start entirely from scratch. So I'm going to click on blank. And over here, we have a bunch of different options to choose from. What I'm going to do is I'm going to import a dimension and a metric and show you what this looks like. So let's say I want to look at the total number of users who come from each city. So I'm going to go down here to dimensions. And a dimension is typically some sort of category or a non-numerical variable. So I'm going to type in city and click on city and import this. And I'm going to go to metrics, and I'm going to type in total users. And keep in mind that this is just one metric and one dimension out of countless numbers of dimensions and metrics you can use. This is just one example that I'm quickly showing you here. So you want to go to dimensions and drag that into any of the green spots here. So in rows or columns, either one is fair game. I'm going to throw it into rows. And then for total users, you want to drag it down here into values. So I'm going to drag it down here. And this creates a report of the number of users that have come from each city. So this is one way of looking at it. This is a very basic table, but this is a freeform report, so you can do whatever you want with it. You could look at a donut chart. You know, it may not be nearly as useful, but it's there. You can look at a geomap, which may work for this. So there are so many ways to configure your freeform report. So looking at cities by users is just one tiny way that you can use this feature. So in my opinion, the freeform report is going to be the most powerful and most robust tool that you can use as a beginner. So I hope that this tutorial was helpful, that you found what you needed. Thanks so much for watching, and feel free to watch any other tutorials on our page.